G'day GBA fans, my name is Bill and today I am joined with my lovely co-host.
G'day jabronis, it's TheVerd here and we are here for the week 2 of Pivotal Moments. Now before we get into this week's plays, prep and performance, we are quickly going to go over a few things.
Mainly how we are going to structure these videos. Each week we try to find 2 pivotal moments per game, meaning 1 on each side, and to us there's a few things that make a certain part of a game a pivotal moment.
One example would be a great prep on a coach's part that was able to take the other coach off guard and knock them onto back foot.
Another way would be a shift in momentum within a game, either with a very well predicted switch or a very ballsy play.
And generally, anything fantastic that the coaches pull off will find itself onto this list.
With all that out of the way, let's get into pivotal moments for week 2, season 7 of the GBA.
Cracking into our first game, we have the match between the Free State Torah Cats and the St. Louis Ramparts. Duncan pulling out his first win in the GBA, so congratulations there, Mr. Knee Deep. And one of the big plays that he did that got him a lot of momentum in this game was the acidic downpour on his Weavile. Now, Clefable was a decent wall to Weavile, but having the acidic downpour with Poison Jab allowed Duncan to be able to OHKO the Clefable, opening up a lot of his mons later in the game. And I guess the other thing to note is his predictions with Lando Eye, being able to switch it in on Terrakion Earthquake, and then predicting Terrakion to switch out later in the game and going for the U-turn, gave Duncan a lot of momentum and gave him a really good advantage in the game.
On the other side of the field, we want to mention a few things that we feel like Dan did badly, and that was sacking the Toxapex to the Venusaur when you have a Staraptor and a Victini in the back, which would resist the Giga Drain that it was obviously going for, and sacking the Terrakion to the Landorus, which was very devastating for a middle of the game.
Moving on to our next game here, and we have the match between the San Francisco Arcaniners and the Borussia Donphans. George picking up his first win for the season. One of the big plays here was the crit scald, taking out the Rotom Heat, obviously like a massive moment in that game. And another big one was Lars missing that Iron Tail. Would have been really big for him if he'd hit that, but unfortunately, maybe George getting a little bit of that hacks back after what happened last week against Battler X.
For sure. In our next game is the Detroit Steel Wings versus the San Francisco Giants. And guys, do I really need to say it? Crimson played fantastically this game, and you all know what I'm about to say. The double dance to Cobalion sweep is definitely the most pivotal moment for this week. Crimson was able to understand what he had to do to win, and he was able to execute it fantastically, setting up the Swords Dance and then setting up the Rock Polish to sweep through the rest of Geo's team late game.
Yeah, that was an incredible win for Crimson. But moving on to our next game, we have the Tampa Bay Luxrays up against the Pittsburgh Piratas. Mono with his second win of the season, looking very strong to start. And one of the big reasons why Mono's been so good at the start is, and I guess this is a pivotal moment for this week, is his continuous offensive pressure that he puts on a lot of teams. The combination of Buzzwole, Roserade, and Greninja is such a potent threat, and against Tup's team, it put in an amazing amount of work.
One thing we want to mention is that Top, he had very little prep for Miltank, so Miltank was able to wall a lot of his offense and generally lost a lot of the momentum that Top was able to bring up, so basically stopped any moments of his being pivotal and gave all the momentum to Mono.
Next game we're going to cover here is the San Jose Sharpedos up against the Utah Jasmine. Tom coming out 2-0 winner there. One of the big moments was when Tom was able to trick a Choice Scarf onto Coop's Reuniclus, which completely shut it down. It really crippled it. It wasn't able to do as much work as it could have done in that game, and so that was really smart on Tom's part and also very devastating on Coop's part.
The other play we want to mention is that Raw on Tom's Vaporeon brought in Swellow twice rather than bringing in something that would really help Coop, like the Zapdos or the Scrafty, which would have then given him the momentum, but sadly was unable to, and then Coop lost his Swellow very early game, losing a big win con for him.
Next game we're going to cover is a match between the Alola Athletic and the Milwaukee Swordsbucks. One, I guess, big thing was, this is not exactly maybe a play that we want to cover here, but psychologically in the battle, Calum was pretty much in Steve's head. He was predicting a lot of plays, he was making all the correct ones, and it forced a lot of mistakes out of Battler X, and it led to another win for Calum, who is proving that he is not here. He's doing really well so far in the GBA, and he could really have an amazing season.
2 specific plays we want to highlight from his predictions was the Roar on Teat stopping the Belly Drum Komodo and the Roar on Druddigon stopping the sub on Mimikyu. 2 fantastic uses of the move Roar, and it gave a lot of momentum to Calum, giving him the win 3-0.
Moving on to our next game, and we had a clash between the Philadelphia Sizzles and the Florida Gators. Chimp getting the win over Gator here. One big pivotal moment that Chimp did was being able to rapid spin and get rid of the webs. Now, webs are just a very annoying thing for a lot of teams to deal with, but allowing Chimp to get rid of them meant that a lot of his faster mons were able to come clutch later in the game. The other moment from this game that we are going to look at is the Toxic from the Sludge Bomb on Pukamuku, which meant that it couldn't recover up against the Doug Trio and meant that it had to go down. It was a huge loss for Gators team and opened the door for Chimp to get the victory.
The final match we want to talk about is the New Orleans Pelicans versus the San Diego Chim Chargers. Envy picking up a very clean 4-0 win against John. One of the most important plays we want to highlight is Pursuit trapping the Guja with his Alolan Muck. This weakened the Guja to the point where Magnezone could freely go to town on John's team, meaning that Envy could pick up the very, very clean 4-0.
I guess one other thing we just want to point out, and it might just be a bit of a weird one, we only really have one pivotal moment from that game because it was just one of those games where nothing really crazy kind of happened. It was just one of those games where it was pretty, I don't want to say bland, but like it was just very straightforward. There weren't any...
It was very blow for blow.
Yeah, exactly. It was one of those kind of games, so sometimes you'll have that in the season, guys, where we don't have as many pivotal moments for these games, but this match between the Chim Chargers and the Pelicans, it was just one of those games.
One thing we want to do is take all the pivotal moments from a week and have you guys, the fans, pick your favorite one.
Each week, your favorite pivotal moment will go up against all the week's pivotal moments, and we will have a reigning top pivotal moment at season's end.
For last week, the top pivotal moment was the Volcarona misclick on the San Francisco Arnies.
So in the Google form in the description, vote for the most pivotal moment from this week.
And if there are any moments that you think we should have mentioned, put them in the comments or mention them on the Google form.
With that though, guys, that's going to do it for us here. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you like this video, comment down below, and also don't forget to subscribe to the GBA channel.
Thank you guys for watching. As always, my name is Bill, and adios.